What's up everyone, and welcome to my 17th After Effects tutorial. And in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a mask. Now what a mask is pretty much it covers up some of your video so you only see a specific part of it. And this is how people make like fake UFO videos and videos of them jumping over a car when they're really only jumping in front of a green screen or something like that. So I'm not gonna show you guys how to do that stuff, but I'm gonna show you guys the basics behind it. The first thing that we're gonna want to do is go ahead and drag out a movie clip to our composition panel, and I'll just put that right there. Now there are a lot of different ways you can make a mask, but the easiest way is to open your entire composition in your layers panel. So go ahead and to do this, double click your composition name right here, and now you wanna expand your layers panel for here until you can see the word render, that little checkbox right here. Now what this is going to allow you to do, this layers panel, is going to allow you to make a mask of this layer. So to do that, there are a bunch of different things you can use, like the pen tool. I'm just going to make a basic, let's use an ellipse. So go ahead and start and drag your ellipse. Now, as you can see, the first problem with this, whenever we're going to want to work with this, it's going to be kind of hard to make a mask when we can't really see the entire area we're working with. So if you like it this way with black in the background, then don't do anything. But if you want to see the total area you're working with, go ahead and click render, and this will show you everything you're working with. Now, real quick, as you can see in our final composition panel, it masked only what's in between the yellow circle. And again, what it does, just like mask, it shows you only the parts that you want to see and blocks out the other parts. So now, again, if we played our movie, the entire scene is blocking out the parts we don't want to see and only showing the parts we do want to see. So those are the basics of our mask, but now I want to teach you guys how to edit the mask. Now again, you edit it with mostly the selection tool, but if you just start editing it, you're going to get to know if you want to try to move this mask around, it's going to be kind of hard. You don't use this is your anchor point, and anytime you try to drag it on the side, it's just going to move one of these little nubs. So what you have to do if you want to move this mask around is you need to highlight the mask layer, mask 1, and hold down Control and press T. This is gonna give you a free transform box around your mask. Again, that's hold down Control on your keyboard and press T. And this is gonna allow you to move the mask around your scene, and it's also gonna allow you to shrink and also rotate your mask. So again, anytime you want to use that, Control T, and anytime you want to get out of it, just double click and you'll get out of it. So now you can see in our final composition, we now have a sideways egg-shaped mask. Let me go ahead and click this and play it for you guys. And again, as we touched on before, anytime you want to edit one of these specific nodes, just double click anywhere on your I don't know what's called, pasteboard, and hold down one of these nodes and you can edit those individually. So if you want to make a bean shape mask or a banana shape, or actually I don't even want to say what that shape looks like, but if you want to make this shape, just hold down one of the nodes, and again, if you want to do free transform, hold down Control and press T. Control T, there you go. So those are the basics of working with a mask and how to block out some of your scenery. And this is how people take one portion of a scene and combine it with another portion, even though they're not on the same camera or anything like that. So that is how you make a mask. Those are the basics, and those are basic editing tools. But in the next tutorial, we're going to be going over more on mask, and it's gonna help you out a lot. So get comfortable with the basics of masking a scene and the basics of the free transform tool, And once you learn that, you're ready to move on to the next tutorial. So see you then. Thanks. What's up, guys? Welcome to your 18th After Effects tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys some of the properties of your mask and how to animate them. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is drag out any clip into your composition panel. I used the robot clip from last time. And the next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and make a mask. It doesn't matter what shape it is or nothing like that. So go ahead and make sure your movie clip is selected, the layer, and go ahead and make any kind of mask you want. I'm just going to make a basic star mask for the purpose of this tutorial. And the features of your mask are listed under mask 1. This little arrow that's pointing to the right, if you click it, you can see all of your mask features on this, and this is what we're going to be learning today. So again, click that little arrow and it'll display all the features. The first one is the mask feather. And what the mask feather does is feather out the pixels on the edges of your mask. And to do that, all you need to do is scrub the values to the left or right. This first value right here is on the x-axis, and the second one's on the y-axis. That's left and right and up and down. And again, when you do this, it feathers out the pixels both on the inside of the line and on the outside, on either side. So remember that when you're making a mask. And if you want to unlock these two little things, you just have to press that little lock, and now your proportions, you can edit either the x-axis feathering and the y-axis feathering independently. But for most of the time, I like to keep them locked. And that's pretty much what that does. Just feather out and kind of give your nice mask a fading in and fading out. So let's set that back to 0 and forget about that for now. The next thing is mask opacity, and this is pretty much, well, I can't explain it any better than that. It's the opacity of the mask, or how transparent it is. Now this is pretty much just like the opacity we covered before in the transform. Right here, opacity. It works in the exact same way, but what this, the difference is, this only applies your individual mask, and this applies your whole robot layer. So anytime you have just one mask on your layer, then you're going to want to do it with the overall opacity right here. But anytime you have multiple masks, you can edit them individually. And again, the presets for that for 0, and it means totally opaque or solid. And 0 means totally see-through. So that's mask opacity, and that's how you use that. And the mask expansion is also the mask contraction. What this does is allow you to either take the original shape of your mask and either shrink it by making it a negative value, or expand it by making it any value greater than 0. So that's pretty much the basics of that. You don't really have to know anything extra about that. But those are the three. Oh, in this mask path right here, that is just if you double click this, that's just where it is on your thing. Don't touch that ever, because there's easier ways to do that we learned in the last tutorial. So we'll actually be using this whenever we want to move the mask around the screen, but for now, don't worry about that. So those are pretty much the basics of your mask properties. They're pretty much self-explanatory. You just need to know how to get to them and how to work with them. So play around with those a little bit, and once you do, you'll be an expert on that. So again, thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. What's up, everyone? Welcome to your 19th After Effects tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a mask using the pen tool. Now, the advantages of the pen tool is, unlike the other masking shapes, this allows you to create a customizable shape, and probably you're going to be using this more than any other masking tool. So let's get right down to it. To select the pen tool, you need to go up to the top of your screen on your tools panel and go ahead and click this thing called, ironically, the pen tool. Or if you're too lazy to go all the way up to your screen with your mouse, you can just press G and it'll select it for you. Now once you do this, you are able to draw with a pen tool, but before you start drawing, I need you to go over to this thing called Roto Bezier and make sure that this checkbox is off. Make sure that there is no checkbox in your screen. And I'll show you what this does later, but for right now, just make sure it's off. Now, if you never used the pen tool before in any Adobe applications, it's pretty simple. You just pretty much just need to start clicking around, and your clicks count as frames or points where you can edit. So again, to start out, just make your very first click on the screen. Now anytime you want to make a straight line with the pen tool, go ahead and just click another point on the screen. And that's how you make a straight line with the pen tool. But anytime you have an object where you want to make curves around, here's what you need to do. You need to click on the screen and you need to drag your mouse until it creates a curved shape. So again, a click and a drag creates a curved shape, but a just plain click without dragging creates a straight line. So that's how you make straight lines and curved shapes, and this is an awesome feature with the pen tool. So anytime you're done making the path you want and you want to finish your shape, you need to go to your very first frame that you made, or point, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, my pen tool turns from a pen tool that looks like the head of a pen to the very same thing, but now it has a little circle around it. Whenever it has a circle around it, this means alright, we want to close your path and finish making your mask. So as you can see, when I click this, I now have a completed mask. Now a lot of the times when you make a mask, it's not going to be perfect, so I'm going to show you guys a bunch of simple things how to edit your mask and a couple shortcuts as well. To edit your mask, you most likely want to go up here to the selection tool, or you can just go ahead and press V. Now as you can see, I told you guys how to make straight lines and points with curves. Anytime you want to convert a curved point to a straight point, or a straight point to a curved point, take a look at my cursor. As I hold down Control and Alt on my keyboard, my cursor moves from like a filled in V to a flying V, and this is only when I'm hovering over points. When I click that flying V, as you can see, it's going to convert any curved points to a rounded point. And likewise, if I go to a straight point, it's gonna, I think I said curved and rounded last time. What I meant was straight and curved. As you can see, now we have two straight points. If I hold down Control and Alt on my keyboard, it'll convert those straightened points to a rounded point. So that is how you create straight points to rounded points, and that's a little shortcut. Again, that's Control and Alt on your keyboard. Another thing that you can do is add and take away these little points that you can edit with. Now the easiest way to do this is hold down G on your keyboard, and as you can see, my cursor now moves from a little arrow to a little pen with a plus on it. Anytime you're hovering over your path that doesn't have a keyframe on it, your pen's gonna have a pen with a plus sign on it. This means add a point to your path. Now if we click, you're going to be able to add a point that you can drag, edit with, and anything like that. But what if you already have a point and you want to get rid of it? When you click G, as when you hovered over your path that didn't have a point, it'll add. When you hover over a part of your mask that already has a point on it, it's going to have a little, your pen's going to have a little minus sign next to it. And this means take away that point. We don't want it anymore. So let's take away this one just by clicking on it. And as you can see, we don't have that point in our mask anymore. So again, when you're holding down G, when you hover over your mask that doesn't have a point, you can add it by clicking it. And when you hover over your mask that has a point already, you can get rid of it by hovering over it and deleting it. You can also go up here to your pen tool and add vertex and delete vertex and convert vertex. These are the 3 other things that I talked about. This is just how to do it without the shortcut. But I suggest that you don't do this and you actually learn the shortcuts, because it will be a lot faster. So those are the basics to editing with a pen tool and making custom masks. So again, get familiar with that, and then the next tutorial, as promised, I'm going to be showing you guys what this little thing does, the Rota Bezier, or however you say it, and we will also be probably animating our custom mask. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Make sure to subscribe to my channel.